King. This was the barrack of the Queen. It's built from 1911 to 1920. We say Plaza Square. Plaza Square. Plaza Square.
So I'm going to ask you to follow me with the whispers clock. Okay? Of our coast. So the practice of the village of Sintra are considered a World Heritage Place. So it is one of those wonderful places in the world. So this is our program for today. We just left from the avenue where your hotel is located, and that avenue is the longest avenue in Lisbon. Almeida Terrace is the name. It comes directly from the airport to the city center. And that's because the airport is in Lisbon. So Lisbon is one of the few European capitals still having the airport in the city. So as soon as you leave from the airport, you take the shuttle. Well, actually in the last sense, we thought that we would have less people, but we end up having more people. We have more 600,000 people, and those are of course the immigrants which are coming to Portugal. So at this moment we are 10,600,000 people. So the capital is also small compared to other cities, but we have about every day in Lisbon 1.5 million people, although sleeping in the city, the ones we consider the lucky ones, the ones who don't have to commute every day to work in the city, the ones who are actually living in those buildings in Lisbon. So the majority of the people are outside, and we still have about 360,000 cars coming in every day to the city. Of course, the majority of the people, they take the train or they can buy a boat, because there are also people living on the other side of the city. We don't have a Chinatown, as most part of the cities have, because in fact we all live together. We don't have one quarter for this nationality or another quarter for the other. So there is not a Chinatown in Lisbon, but there is a big Chinese community as well. And then lately We have people from India, from Bangladesh, from many different countries. The people from Brazil. On the left, you are going to see white gate with letters. On the left is the synagogue of Lisbon. There is a policeman there now because since holiday we having the problems that we know. The synagogue started by the policeman. So we also have a Jewish community here in Lisbon. It's not a very big one. We have about 2,000 Jewish people in Lisbon. A few more in Porto, in the second capital, but not more. And we also have a Muslim community. So far so good. We all live in peace. The Muslim community is well integrated. So there is also a mosque. Although Portugal is by religion Roman Catholic country, about 90% of the population are Roman Catholic. On the right, the big palace, which was actually a 17th century palace, where you see the flags right now, is the seat of the Socialist Party. The Socialist Party is one of our most important parties. Well, there are actually two, the Socialist Party and the Social Democratic Party. And the government usually is between those two. The last 8 years we had the Socialist Party in the government. Right now we have the Social Democratic Party. And if you ask me if there is much difference, no. That revolution was a peaceful revolution. We didn't actually kill anyone. The Prime Minister and the President went to Brazil. But let's say it was the Communist Party who took over after the revolution. And actually that was not our idea. Our idea was democracy. So later on 25th of November, there was kind of another revolution. And the government was given to the Socialist Party. So we consider those two dates very, very important in our democracy. 25th of April, because that's when we stopped the dictatorship, and the 25th of November, because that's when, let's say, the situation settled down and we were not extreme right or extreme left. We finally find our center, and the Socialist Party was in government for a long time. It's still in government when we vote for. Lisboa is going to be conquered from the Arabs by our first king, Christian King Afonso. So at 1147, Lisbon became a part of Portugal, because Portugal was being formed up north. So the same story that you probably heard in Spain, the knights and the Catholic kings getting together up north and then coming down with the Christian army conquering the land from the Arabs. So when they got here, it was 1147, they conquered the city, and the Arabs went to the other side of the river, where they remained 1 century longer. So since 1147, Lisbon is a Portuguese city. Look to the right and you can see the name of the bridge, and we are going to pass 25th of April, and we are going to pass under this bridge, which is very much like Golden Gate in San Francisco. The bridge was inaugurated in 1966 by our dictator Salazar, and the first name given to the bridge was his name, Salazar Bridge. Later on, at 25th of April, as you already know, when we became a democracy, we changed the name. It didn't make sense for us to have a bridge named after a dictator. So the name of the bridge is now 25th of April Bridge. The river We are driving along the river now, Tejo River. We are driving towards the Atlantic. And the Atlantic is not far away from here. The Atlantic is about 20 kilometers far from where we are right now. So we can see that Lisbon has this wonderful location. Very close to the Atlantic, but not exactly exposed to the Atlantic. We are here in the river, on the same place where the Phoenicians, the Romans, and the Arabs built it. They built the city century after century. You know, right? This long building, it's what it was, our rotary. So the place where the roads were done for canals and gallets for our fleet, the building is from the 18th century and is used nowadays for temporary exhibitions. The river is important for us, so you can see that there are places there for people to sit, to enjoy, having some sports, places for children to play, restaurants and coffee shops, some hotels as well. The building on the left, where you can see some vegetation on the roof, is MET, the museum. MET stands for Museum of Art, Architecture and Technology. Next to it, on the right, also a collection of coaches in the mold. Those beautiful carriages, those beautiful coaches, all are in wood and covered with gold paint. And just so you have an idea of the importance of times, just look to the left. That is a monument which is celebrating Sophia the Belém. She was a writer, and it's all in times, as you can see. And look to the right, you will see the palace of the president, known as Belém Palace, the palace of the 18th century, and in front of the palace, the statue of Alfonso the Albuquerque, viceroy in India during the 16th century. 这个他们都还要去看找到他们整个地球的殖民地。Our next stop is going to be at Belém Tower. We write it B-E-L-E-M, that is the Portuguese accent for Belém. This tower was built between 1515 and 1521, so it's a monument of the 16th century. And although we call it a tower, in reality it's a fortress. It was built here at the mouth of the river, very close to the Atlantic, at the mouth of the river, to stop the invaders and the pirates. So when the tower was built, it was in the middle of the river. All of this where we are driving.
Portugal. Olha a cortiça.
You tell me one of the reason why should I give you?
My eyes are actually dying. Like my eyes are. It's
你
dying.
去那边等一下嘛，你会不会我没有拍哦？
我已经在拍了，来啊。
Dedicated to the Portuguese navigators. The first one represented is Henry the Prince Harry the Navigator. He was the son of King John and Philip of Lancaster. A lady came from England to marry King John I. And he was the leader of this movement, the maritime discoveries. He founded a nautical school in Sagres. Sagres is on the other side of the river, 300 kilometers from here, which had never been a school. As you see, a school nowadays with teachers and students. Is this group, this elite, this group of people who have the knowledge, the know-how, the high technology from the beginning of the 15th century. They all thought it was secret. The monument, and we see a very interesting map on the floor. So when you see the map on the floor, you understand a little bit better our history of the maritime discoveries. So please follow me. Boring, as I said, just grilled or boiled, and the spices were not only needed to give taste to the food, but they were also needed. They were also needed to preserve the food. We have everything now, so we don't think about it, but how did those people preserve the food in those days? It would be dry or salted. Well, the only two ways. That's why we still have in nowadays the cod fish, dry and salted, from those days. And so the spices were also a way to preserve the food. And when we speak about spices, we don't speak only about pepper, cloves, cinnamon. We speak of a number of things coming to Europe, which were in many cases the base of some industries and also some pharmaceutical drugs. Some of the things that were considered very good. But of course, this is his office where he receives the ambassadors, the heads of state. This is his office. And it's quite
是呢，他对平等和平呢，就是要有和平，所以他的那个时候他们 protest 呢 is a very peaceful protest。他们当时在英国呢要 protest 的时候是一个非常和平的一个 protest， but 他们 protest for equality， 就是